Hey guys, it's Maris. Welcome back to Harpies in the Trees, where I review horror books with a supernatural focus. I hope everything is going well for you this week. If you've joined in on our readathon, we are on the third day as of this taping. It's been really exciting so far. There have been so many really cool theories and just attention to little details that we've been discussing lately. So if you want to check them out, you can go to the community tab. I will warn you though that there will be spoilers if you do so, because we are kind of just talking about anything and everything at this point, but it's been really, really fun. I hope we could do another one of these. So we're gonna be doing something very different today. I've never done this before. It is a completely new thing to do, just like the readathon. A lot of new things happening lately. It's all good though. We're gonna be doing a anticipated upcoming new releases for October of this year, but just supernatural, just spooky, just gothic. That's it. That's what we're gonna be doing today. I've handpicked these books. I went through so many websites and publisher sites, Instagram and Goodreads to find these books that I felt were pretty compelling and interesting. My next two reads for the vlog and book review are going to be Mina and the Undead and the Full Croft Ghosts. These are not the last two books on my TBR that I totally skipped over.
Arrest her!
Which is The Dead Zone and Bone Harvest, which I need to get to at some point. But I really wanted to read Mina because this is an ARC request, and I really just was like, oh, I don't want to read The Dead Zone with this or The Bone Harvest. I kind of wanted something that was a little bit similar in vibe, so of course I went to an old favorite, Darcy Coates, so we are going to read these two. AV Reed says, the loop definitely does have some Cronenberg horror vibes, which I love, but it's more conspiracy thriller. It does have some YA-ish relationships. So one of the quotes for the loop said that this was the Cronenberg film that we never got or something. So that's what she's referencing. Conspiracy thriller sounds like, it sounds about right, as it's sort of about this, it's like a biotech firm and like something goes wrong or something. So that makes total sense. Christy Raven says, Clive Barker is a fellow Scouser from Liverpool, as is Ramsey Campbell. Don't know why I'm telling you this, but it could be your random fact of the day. I didn't know that, so that's very cool. I like little trivia tidbits like that. So let's get into this release list. It's only 7 books, but I think there will be something here for everybody, so let's do it. So we're gonna be talking about these books in the order of which they are being released. And the first one that's gonna be released on October 10th from Off Limits Press is Claire Smith's When We Entered That House. And if you remember Claire, she wrote Helena. I did a review for that. If you want to check it out, I'll put it up here. I really liked Helena. There is a lot of really cool elements there. So I'm really excited to see what this will bring. This is about 2 best friends who are named Zoe and Ella. And they have been sneaking off into the woods to go hang out at this decaying mansion. And you know, one of the reasons why they're hanging out there in the mansion, it's also allowing them to be away from home. Home is chaotic, sounds like there's problems going on there, so they get to come to the mansion and kind of just escape for a while. But this house is not a safe haven. It has a very dark history, and it has an agenda all of its own. So I really love this premise, and what I like about it is, like, you know, it's these 2 people who are, you know, just trying to find a place that's safe, trying to find a place where they can go and just be themselves and relax and kind of get away from their terrible home lives. So that sounds very like relatable in so many aspects, especially for myself. So that really speaks to me. And also they're going into the woods. Yeah, done that. And also going to just hang out in this, you know, dilapidated, decaying, rotting mansion. So I'm definitely into this, and I will definitely gonna grab this. Now the next book is coming out on October 12th. It's called Dark Country, and it's by Monique Snyman. I think it's Snyman perhaps. But this sounds interesting to me. It could be really, really good, and it could not be really, really good. I'm just not sure where it lies, but I think that it has a lot of promise. It takes place in South Africa. I have no idea what South Africa is like. I've never been there. I don't really know much about it. I don't really know their folklores or their mythologies or anything like that. But this book is exploring those mythologies, and it's also talking about the beauty and the horror and the magic of living in a pseudo-modern South Africa. So it sounds like stuff I have no idea about, so it could be kind of cool. The story takes place in Pretoria, South Africa, and it follows a woman who does a very specific job. She's an occult crime expert. So already I'm like, And she's been asked to investigate this corpse that has been found. So while she is in Pretoria, South Africa, doing this job, she finds herself becoming a target of a serial killer who uses the paranormal as his weapon. So with her team behind her, she tries to locate this killer, but they have everything sort of working against them. They have time working against them, the media, and also this threat of like the country going into like this wide panic. It sounds like it could be really fun and entertaining, and I think that's what I like about this, and hopefully spooky. Another book comes out on October 12th, and it's called This Thing Between Us by Gus Moreno. One of the things that I do like when they get combined together, but it has to be done really, really well, is technology and the paranormal. I really love, I just love that combination. It's always kind of eerie and spooky. And, because there is a little bit of, I think because it seems like it's plausible, if energy is what ghosts are, it seems like energy could be easily manipulated in digital devices. So I'm totally into that. And we have 2 books in this list that are tech related. This is the first one. This is about a couple who decide to buy an Itza, which is basically an Alexa. They buy it because there's been some spooky-ish things going on in the house. And I think they wanted to get it so that they maybe could monitor, what's happening, maybe record sounds or something. But once it gets there, it starts doing some really weird stuff, like packages start arriving that nobody ordered, and eerie music begins to play late at night. And the Itza will start projecting light shows, in the wee hours of the morning in an empty room to nobody. So this is all probably a little bit amusing and a little bit spooky, but Vera, the wife, is killed at some point. And her husband really just cannot handle this loss. And he leaves Chicago, so he leaves their house behind, and he goes to Colorado to be in the wilderness alone, in isolation, away from technology. But it's only after he gets there that he realizes that he cannot escape his own grief, and also whatever was in the house has followed him. So this sounds really fun. It seems to start out pretty light, with just this playfulness of wanting to kind of interact with whatever's in the house, and then it kind of just goes haywire. I think my only fear would be, please don't let the technology stuff be too generic, something that we've already heard before over and over again. So I hope it's something that would be kind of, fresh and new. The next book comes out on October 19th, and I guarantee you've seen this book around. It's called Nothing But Blackened Teeth by Cassandra Khaw. This sounds really cool. It is a novella. I don't know how short or long it is, but it looks really cool. The cover is really amazing. What's really interesting is Khaw is a senior scriptwriter at Ubisoft Montreal. And also this book is really based on a lot of Japanese folklore. So that's really neat. So the setting for this is in an ancient mansion, And when I say ancient, I mean like it was built between 794 and 1185 AD in Japan. It's very, very old. It's become this very popular place for people to go and have their weddings because it's probably really beautiful and picturesque and all that kind of stuff. But nobody knows that the structure has corpses inside of it. And specifically a corpse of a bride and several girls who have been sacrificed. But as the wedding is going on and everyone's having fun and getting drunk and celebrating, there's another bride who wants to celebrate her night also. So it sounds very cool. I like the whole blackened teeth thing because it just makes me think of when Japanese women used to lacquer their teeth. So that look has always been sort of eerie and spooky, so I really like it in this instance. I think it's going to be very cool. I hope it is a part of the story or is a part of the apparition or, you know, the bride. So this sounds like a ton of fun. The next book comes out on October 19th, and it is The Voices at the End of the Road by Twyla Ellis. So I love the cover of this book. It's kind of like what caught my eye, I guess, when I was looking at stuff. So this is a supernatural story. It has some Gothic elements. It has some, seems like it has, you know, some of those traditional Gothic elements, you know, just kind of like inheritance and, you know, family drama and like all that kind of stuff. So it sounds like it could be really cool. Let me tell you what it's about. A woman named Tessa has been hired by this family, the Whitfield family in Texas. They ask her to come to the States so that she can kind of take care of their youngest sister, Caroline, who is 14 years old. And her brothers are the one who are kind of putting this in motion, and they really want Caroline to have a more normalized life. And the reason for that is because Caroline has been shut in this estate for all of her 14 years of life. So she doesn't know anything about the outside world. And her only friends are ghosts. So they're really hoping that Tessa can come and help their family fix it somehow. But it might not be just family members that make it difficult for Tessa. So this really sounds like just kind of one of those like traditional Gothic stories, you know, where you have somebody who then comes to someone else's house and kind of has to discover and understand and manage like all of these secrets that are there and figure out like what's really going on, and how to either help the situation or, you know, leave the situation. I am expecting family secrets, maybe hidden rooms, locked rooms, diaries, any type of information that's hidden, and of course, ghostly encounters. The next book comes out on October 19th, and it is called The Death of Jane Lawrence. And this is by Caitlin Starling. When I was looking at this book, I mean, I really liked the cover. I think the cover is fantastic. But what kind of caught my eye was this tagline on Goodreads that said, "This Crimson Peak inspired story assembles the upends every expectation set in place by Shirley Jackson and Rebecca." This is also the same author who wrote The Luminous Dead. It was her first novel, which is a novel that I definitely want to get because I know a lot of people liked it and it sounds really intriguing to me. This is Gothic horror, and it's like Gothic to the core. This is about a woman named Jane who decides that, you know, it would be really good for her if she got married. You know, it'd be good for her future, good for her prospects, and she has her eye on this very dashing Dr. Augustine Lawrence. He agrees to her proposal, but he has one rule that she has to agree to, and that is that she is to never, ever come to his house at all. She agrees to this, but then finds herself at his doorstep just because of the way the fates have kind of rolled themselves out. So she ends up there anyway, but when he answers the door, he's different. He's not himself. He's completely someone else. He's no longer dashing and handsome and charming and in control. He's paranoid and terrified. And he cowers before her, and he thinks that she's an apparition, that she's come to haunt him or something. But in the morning when she wakes up and they see each other again, he is back to being Mr. Dashing Babe. So I wonder what's going on there. So I'm thinking like, you know, is it a Mr. Jekyll, Dr. Hyde type situation? Or is it like a twin brother? Or is she actually a ghost? So I think this story seems cool. I'm hoping for atmosphere. I'm hoping for mood. I'm hoping for a lot of color and texture, just because, you know, when you mentioned Crimson Peak, you know, that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for this vibrancy, this kind of melodrama of the era to kind of really feel, you know, just thick enough to be able to wear like a coat, you know, like that's what I want. The last book on the list comes out on October 26th and is called Where They Wait by Scott Carson. And this is the other book that's kind of tech related. This is about an out-of-work journalist who has found a writing gig for this company called Clarity. Clarity makes mindfulness apps that provides meditative tracks and sleep songs and white noise and ASMR and all that kind of stuff so that you can go to sleep or meditate. This job also brings him back to his hometown, which he hasn't been to in a really long time. But as his work at Clarity progresses, he begins to experience these nightmares, these very specific nightmares. He hears his name being called, and there's some dead woman who's trying to give him guidance or advice or something. He also comes to realize that the people at Clarity don't really care about his articles that he's writing for them, because they actually have other things in mind for him. So I'm one of those people who listens to ASMR or meditation tracks or something to go to sleep, because I have a very overactive mind, and also sometimes I get very severe sleep anxiety. So I just need something to chill me out. But one time I was listening to this one track that I never really get through all of the tracks. Like I fall asleep probably like 10, 15 minutes into the tracks. And sometimes they're 2 hours, sometimes they're 8 hours, whatever. And usually what I do is I really like the visualization ones, you know, the ones that are like lucid dreaming or, you know, time travel. One time I was listening to this one video and I woke up like, I don't know, early in the morning, and it was so weird. It really, really freaked me out. The woman was saying something, but I was kind of half asleep, but kind of awake, you know? And it just sounded really manipulative, like really weird. I did not like it. I did not like that. So that's what drew me here. I think it could be interesting. It is described as a supernatural novel, so it's supernatural. So that makes me feel really good because, of course, I want there to be something spooky there. I don't want it to just be like some evil corporation, you know? I mean, it's too real. So that was the 7 supernatural books coming out in October that I am anticipating, that I am really interested, and I hope that I can get at some point. You know that I usually buy my books used, so it might take me a minute, but I would definitely like to get all of these at some point. They sound very exciting. So I hope that you found something here that, you know, was interesting for you. Let me know down in the comments if there was one that you particularly liked, and if you plan on picking any of these up. If you like this video, please like and comment. That would be so cool. And if you're not subscribed already, please subscribe, hit that bell button for notifications. I do videos 2 to 3 times a week. It's at least 2 videos. Other than that, please take care of yourself, look out for each other, and I will talk to you next time.